Welcome to D&D Tyranny of Dragons, session 48, Retrieving the Mask. Are you guys ready?
Goblins.
Fun. Yeah. I think
Yeah. All right, we're good.
Alright, so we should be good now. Alrighty, so with our little music change here, let's go to... So, let's go over last session, then we're just going to throw you straight into the action tonight, because it's going to be an interesting session one way or another. Is it? Okay. I made that adjustment, now it's hard for me to adjust now. Alright. So, last session, you were given a job, a new one from the Council of Waterdeep, to set off to a place called Xonthal's Tower. It had been basically leaked that there was a defector within the Cult of the Dragon, one that wanted to escape the cult and promised a reward for those that helped him. The reward being something that you all very much wanted, it being a dragon mask of the cult, the blue dragon mask. This man named Iskander promised that he would give the mask over if he was saved from this place called Xonthal Tower, where he said the cult had taken over. So after making your preparations and meeting an old friend, she helped you head out to the town of... Let me get up here, so I forgot the name of the town. Lork, via teleportation circle. You arrived with all of your companions and such in tow and your supplies, knowing that it was only going to be less than a day's walk or so to get to this village that was on the outside of Xonthal's Tower, the village itself being called Xonthal's Tower as well. Not a lot of originality went into this place, apparently. But with that, you set off, leaving your tiefling friend, whose name I'm blanking on right now.
Maccath.
Maccath, thank you. Behind, but with a sending stone in your possession, so that when you were done with your task, or if you needed a quick escape, you'd be able to call for her, and she would return to the teleportation circle just north of Lork, and you'd be able to head back to Waterdeep via that. So you headed south, moving through the small town, or a small village kind of called Lork. Not having a lot to it, you just headed straight through it and continued on. Towards the end of the day, not quite nighttime, but evening definitely setting on, the sky kind of beginning to darken, you found yourself at another small village. This village was ordinary for the most part, aside from the fact that to the south of it, right, kind of buttressed up next to the village itself, was what appeared to be a large tower, kind of square in its construction and such, but this tower was completely surrounded by a hedge maze. Not a hedge mage, according to Havoc last session. Venturing through, Maximilian soared through the sky, kind of tried to get a better look of this hedge maze, but seemed to just see a, overgrown mess of a place. Whereas those of you on the ground saw what appeared to be a quaint garden before you as you got closer to it. Finally deciding to make your way inside of it, not bothering to gather any information from the villagers, you made your way into this hedge maze. Maximilian, taking from the air initially, was unable to see anyone as the maze itself took over this derelict kind of view, it being overgrown with no clear pathways through it. Ventured back down into the maze and found himself almost transported, is the easiest way to describe it, into this quaint garden maze, along with his friends. You found yourself moving down a somewhat curving path, and as you did so, it opened up. Around you, you saw there was a kind of a spoked area with 8 different paths leading up to this one area, and in the middle of all these spokes leading off in different directions was a sundial. The sundial had one shadow, but the shadow didn't match the sun above your head. Seeing and knowing that Xonthal's Tower was protected by powerful magic in this maze, you decided to follow this clue and follow the shadow. After traveling for a few more minutes, you found yourself back in this kind of central spoke, though was it the same place you weren't sure. Everything looked pretty much similar, but direction and exactly where you were was very difficult to tell here. As you moved into the area again with the sundial, you saw that now 2 shadows were projected off of the sundial itself. Initially, you decided that you were going to follow the new shadow that popped up and was kind of pointing off to your right. As you did so, the scenery rather changed, and you found yourself standing in a large opening with a huge pool of murky water in the middle of it. A small gem hanging up above it, floating up above the stream. With that, everyone prepared, knowing that some kind of trap or something must lay here. You moved around to the other side with Maximilian preparing and then flying over the pool and grabbing hold of the gemstone. But unfortunately, there were creatures waiting for him, as these giant crustacean-looking things with large claws burst out of the water, snatching him out of the air, and combat erupted. You were able to fight off the creatures and slay them, and even found a few magical items that seemed to be under the surface that they were hoarding. But after taking the gem with you, you headed back into the hedge maze, finding yourself heading back towards the sundial once again. And once again, you saw two shadows, one pointing ahead of you, one off to the right. This time, you decided that maybe it was indicating in between these two shadows, and made your way off the path in between them. And once again, you found yourself moving into the spoked area, this time 3 shadows, pointed in various directions, one forward and 2 kind of flanking both directions around you. As you kind of moved around, surmising that maybe this was another directional thing, you decided to move through 2 that were equidistant apart and move into the middle of them. As you did so, once again, you found yourself within the spoked area with the sundial. This time, however, 4 shadows were present. The 4 shadows seemed to make a symbol of an X across the sundial itself, and as you observed, getting a tad frustrated with what was going on, you saw the shadows rotating around, spinning and shrinking downwards, and as they did so, they shrunk into the sundial. Not entirely sure what this meant, what clue it could be. You made your way off in a random direction, or somewhat random. You found yourself in another large area, this one full of strange occurrences, as it seemed several goats as well as 2 cyclops appeared to be frozen in time in this area, along with a field kind of around them, and a farm is kind of what it resembled. As you looked at it, you saw that everything around you seemed to be magical as you cast Detect Magic, and just overpowering magic was radiating from everything around you. With that, Stoneskull decided to move forward to investigate, and everything around him, the cyclops, the grass, the goats, all around you began to animate and move, as if time had been set forward again in motion. With that, you saw the cyclops perform some kind of game where they seemed to be competing against one another, and one seeming to lose, walked towards the group, and after motioning for you to move out of the way, stepped back and heaved this gigantic boulder forward, and it landed some 150 feet or so away from you all, landing on the ground. And then the Cyclops turned around and motioned for the group to do the same. After some quick thinking and spell casting, Stoneskull, now in a large state and being much more powerful than he normally was able to fling a stone of similar size that the one the Cyclops threw straight through the hedge mage, throwing it much further than the Cyclops did. Ghost crack? Am I cracking up for anybody else?
No, it's crystal clear for me.
Yeah, not really.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything like that.
Okay. Alright, so after Stoneskull hurled this rock through the hedge maze, the Cyclops kind of bowed in acquiescence, and you moved forward to see that the rock that the Cyclops had thrown had cracked open. And as all the figures around you and the world around you began to freeze in time once again, you saw that the rock that the Cyclops had thrown had split into 2 pieces, and in the middle was another gemstone. With this in your possession, you set off through another path leading out of this area, and found yourself back at the spoked sundial. Once again, with 4 shadows, as it seemed that you had guessed wrong in what direction you were supposed to go. After investigating more and seeing these four shadows spin once again and then shrink into the sundial, you figured there might be more to what the sundial was trying to tell you. Ignalia, wanting to check the sundial a bit more in depth, climbed on top of it and was trying to examine down where the shadows had disappeared, and then all of you witnessed as Ignalia melted directly into the sundial, vanishing from all of your sight. With that, you all decided to go ahead and join her, climbing up one after another onto the sundial, and much like Ignalia, disappearing within it. As you reappeared, you found yourself falling, but not very far, and you kind of lightly, but not damagingly, hitting the ground. Still within this area with the sundial, you assume maybe the same area, maybe a different one, it was hard to tell still. But this time, every path out of this area, all 8 of them, were now marked by a shadow. Not seeing that any path seemed to be the right one, if these shadows were any indication, you started to look around, and it seemed that all of your perceptions, you were able to see the tower, Xonthal's tower, somewhat closer than it was before. In fact, it's very close, as it seemed like these challenges had brought you closer and closer, even though you didn't feel like you had walked that far.
One second, chat. I just lost audio on that.
Off kilter when it came to a pathway, almost as if it was trying to sit between them. With that, Stoneskull decided to just go ahead and charge through, and you all followed through as he heads straight through the maze itself, through the hedges around there. And as he did so, a few moments of the weeds and grass and such that made up this hedge maze blocked your view. You found yourself moving into an open area. As you looked around this open area, you saw the tower itself was now directly before you, and you were in the center of this maze. As you looked behind you, you saw that a clear path had opened up right next to you. And as you looked back down it, you saw it leading straight back to this area that looked to be where a sundial was sitting. However, there was only one path, and that path, or 2 paths, I guess, the one leading to where you were standing, and then one path that stretched off from that one, leading up to where you had entered into the maze itself. As you looked back towards the tower, trying to find some means to get in, not seeing a door, you saw a man standing up on top, on a balcony at the top of the tower. As you were looking up to him, he called out to you and said that he was in fact Iskander, the one that had called you to this place. He told you that he was in need of help, that they would know soon. And no sooner was he doing that, waving around what appeared to be a blue mask as well as what he called a key in his hand, which looked like a small hourglass, was he attacked by what appeared to be a cultist. As they were fighting, you saw blades being drawn as well as spellfire being flung, and then the one that attacked this man named Iskander came flying down from the balcony and landing harshly onto the ground right next to a teleportation circle. As you observed this teleportation circle, you saw a manner of symbols were rested up above it as Iskander disappeared into the tower. Maximilian tried to gain purchase on the balcony itself, but seemed to be blocked by some kind of wall of force. With that, you started investigating this teleportation circle and the symbols above it. The symbols were all different, didn't make a whole lot of sense, but you decided that after touching them and discovering that magic seemed to radiate around you, that they seemed to control the circle itself. And with that, you went ahead and started touching them. The hourglass symbol that was present before you seemed to be the most obvious one based on what Iskander was holding, but every time you touched it, it whirred with magic beginning to activate and then deactivated. Whereas when you ended up touching the square, you found yourselves all teleported, seemingly within the tower. You looked around and didn't see a square building surround you, but rather a round one, which was a bit odd, but everything about this place was a bit odd. You found yourself in what appeared to be a bedroom, standing on another teleportation circle. And as you looked behind you, you saw engraved on the wall in this kind of inset metal were more of these symbols, much of them the same. None of them changing actually from there. With that, you decided to go ahead and press another one, which led you... you pressed a chair, which led you to what appeared to be an audience chamber. And as you were looking around it, you saw a manner of books and such around you, but nothing too extraordinary, minus what appeared to be a human female dressed in cult regalia that was sprawled face down in a pool of blood before you. You also saw 2 balconies flanking up above you that you investigated, seeing more teleportation circles, and also seeing that the teleportation circle you arrived on, the symbols behind it, were slightly different. Instead of 1 chair, you saw that there were 2 chairs on symbols on the wall behind you. But that is where we're going to go ahead and start the session. We're all trying to figure out how to get around this place. Teleportation seems to be the means. The 2 rooms you've visited, neither one of them had stairs or any other physical means to move about this tower. But you were able to tell that it seemed like your elevation was changing based on how you were teleporting. So, once again, you're all in this chamber. I'll give you a brief rundown of this chamber once again. You see the walls of this chamber bear exotic geometric designs representing feathers, eagles, and snakes, all rendered in a style you've never really seen before. To one side of the room, you see this human female once again sprawled face down in a pool of blood, dressed as a high-ranking member of the Cult of the Dragon. We've already checked her body and were able to find that she was definitely gutted by a dagger, killing her fairly quickly and very messily. What do y'all want to do?
You said there were the 2 balconies up above us, right? That also had similar rings.
Yeah, 2
rings. Do those rings have glyphs, and do either of those have chairs on them?
As you investigate flying up there, and Stoneskull kind of in his large state, reaching up and just looking up there, you see that there are plates up next to these circles, looking very similar. However, these 2, instead of having 2 chairs like the chamber below you, only have 1 chair. And kind of based on what you're seeing after going between them, you see the chairs are kind of offset, one kind of on the left and one kind of on the right of the symbols.
I'll kind of just poke over to the rest of the group. I think all of these symbols correspond to different rooms or circles inside this tower. We should make sure to make note of what we use and where we go. These chairs, I would imagine, are the overlooks for these 2 circles here in the balcony. I imagine the hourglass still holds some significance if the master of the tower was holding a key, but perhaps we need that key to be able to access whatever room that is. Suggest we just systematically move through, and hopefully we can find some clue as to how this is all supposed to work.
Well, the symbols are probably symbolic, right? Because we chose...
This was the chair. This one was the chair, yeah.
Yeah. So the chair is the sitting room. What were the other symbols?
It was a square,
a right
round room.
Yep, there was a right triangle. There was the hourglass. One sec, scrolling up, because
whatever the mad mage who built this tower, I don't believe he would conform to anything but his own knowledge for these symbols.
I mean, a square is so
that's
big,
what we
it
had.
could be anything, so.
Right.
Rectangle, a flame, a star, a square, hourglass, a right triangle, and an upside down L were the other ones from where we are now.
I'm most interested. I'm most interested in the. And I point my finger towards the flame one. I'm curious what that means.
I personally think the star would be interesting, but
we'll probably
I'll
end
kind
up
of
going in them both.
hop down, like float down, and say, well, it doesn't seem like there's anything for us here. See if we can find someone or something to give us some answers. I'll just kind of put my finger and let it hover over the star. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
Hey, Havoc, is there any way that you could turn the volume on your music down
It's
just a scope?
getting aggressive again.
Yeah, it's... Oh, shit. It's varying
Yeah.
music levels, unfortunately, with this kind of...
No worries. I
thing.
was like, I don't want to feel like I'm screaming here.
Yeah.
Yell at me.
Yeah, if we all nod, and I'll depress the star glyph.
All right. So a few seconds go by. Every time, make something clear, every time you're doing this, it only takes about 4 or 5 seconds for this magic to activate and then teleport you to a new area. It's very quick. It's very, quick to know whether or not it's succeeding or failing. After about a second or two, white light surrounds you and you find yourself teleported again. Much like as when you press the star. White light surrounds you after a couple of seconds, and you find yourselves moving through space and time and arriving at a very interesting looking chamber. This chamber that you find yourself in is clearly the workplace of a wizard. A pair of voluminous tomes on astronomy and astrology lie open on a table. A massive telescope of brass, crystal, and polished mahogany rests on an intricate stand in the middle of the chamber. A ladder rests against one wall, and an immense crystal lens is embedded in the ceiling.
Stoneskull, super curious, wants to look and see if he can see inside the telescope thing here.
Okay. So yeah, as you move up, you see the lens of this telescope only being about 3 or 4 feet or so off the ground. You have to kind of hunch over to look down into it. But as you do so, you're able to look down and see this lens seems to be going through and casting out a sight before you. As you're looking out, you can't really tell anything. You can see the blue and kind of orangish colors of what must be the sky, but it seems to just be a melding of colors before you, and it's hard to tell exactly what you're looking at.
Because I want to get in the habit of doing this. Come here, window. Nope. Okay. Look at this and notice how blurry it is and say, I wonder if this is what Terra is like all day.
I don't know. What did you see?
Stoneskull looks back and thinks and says, nothing. It's all just kind of blurry.
You broke up there, Dan, but
I just said that he said he sees nothing. It's all just kind of blurry.
oh no, I see a lot of things. Like, I know you're standing there. I just don't know what you look like.
It's an old telescope, probably not in repair.
Is it just smudged? Kind of take the cloak to it.
Okay.
Here to rescue a dude, quick. Wipe down this big ol'...
Stoneskull wants to see the stars, okay? Leave him alone.
Because no enemy can make you do that.
Yes.
I mean, as you're looking around, once again, even some of you, I imagine, moving through and taking turns looking through this large telescope, you see above you where this telescope, the lens is kind of pointed up to the ceiling. There's this immense crystal lens that's embedded in the ceiling beside it. You can still see what appears to be light shining through, and it's kind of orangish and coloration and such. Definitely recognize that as the kind of evening light that you see before dusk.
If we take a look around the rest of the room here, see what else we see. Specifically looking for any way to activate the telescope.
Looking around, you see several tomes and such. So, all of them that you're able to look at, all of them dedicated to either astronomy or astrology, the science or the magic behind looking and observing the stars. They tell you a lot of things, which for the most part are Greek to you without spending a good amount of time studying it. But nothing really pointing out to any kind of activation or anything of that nature, aside from maybe it's daytime and hard to see during the daytime. That's about all you got.
Hey, that's enough. And then you said there's a door on the other side of the room. Is that what I'm seeing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's go investigate the door. First one of those we've seen in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You see a somewhat large, it's probably about 7 feet tall or so, a large wooden door. Yeah. Seems to have a latch on it, not a lock or anything.
And it latches on this side?
It's got like a handle, not
yeah,
really a
like
latch
the
on
handle
it.
button latch thing.
Yeah, it seems to be pulled away from towards you, I guess, the way it opens.
Okay. Oh, Stoneskull will open it.
Okay. Alright. Roll 20.
Come on, roll
Let
20.
me move the thing. Zoom in again. As you open this door, you see several men standing out, all of them holding their hands out with spellfire prepared for you. They will get a surprise round on you.
Oh, you better make it count.
Alright, so the 3 mages are going to firebolt at one of the 2 that are closest to the door.
Mention
All
me
right.
and Stoneskull, right?
2 at Stoneskull, 1 at Ignalia.
Oh, no, yeah, shit.
First 2 at Stoneskull, 21 and 21.
Yup.
Last one at Ignalia, 22.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, Stoneskull, you will take 19 points of fire damage. Ignalia, 4.
Wow.
The last guy is going to be holding some kind of spell in his hand, but you're not able to see what it is quite yet until he casts it, as I look through and see what spells he has. Alright, he's going to target one of the 2 people. Okay, Ignalia. I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
1 second.
Can I just counterspell it?
1 second.
You're surprised. You don't have a reaction.
Very good.
So, no.
Here's a 19, good sir. Keep the change.
Okay. Alright. So as you're looking, as spellfire, these fire bolts are sent out towards you all, damaging Stoneskull and Ignalia ever so slightly. You see the last man, obviously aware of purple, his regalia surrounding him of the cult, much more ornate and such, holding out a spell, and as he looks over towards Ignalia, holding his hand out, he just says one word, kneel. You feel this presence entering your mind, Ignalia, rebutting from the firebolt that hit you in the chest, able to fight off the presence of his spell, but definitely seem to be a bit more powerful than a few that you've run into thus far. And it is at that point that I'll have everybody roll for initiative.
Man.
Solid rolls.
Right off the bat.
I'm not here to, ruin the
Why does-
order of things.
Why does this game hate me in initiative?
Oh no.
Because you have a terrible dexterity.
No, my dex is a +1. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible. Not like my -2 wisdom.
Roll a 2.
Yeah, right. -1 dex over here, still rolling higher than Terra every combat, mostly.
Don't worry, I'll just handle it. I'll go file my nails.
Tara's just like, yep, stuff's happening. I'll be there in a minute. Max, however, is very aware that spells are being flung through the air. These guys were standing out on what you now see it appears to be another balcony that they're standing on. Seem to all have been lying in wait for you. Maximilian, you're the first to react.
That was a mistake for them.
First to react, huh? For them. How tall is the door?
It's about 7 feet tall.
Okay, it's not that tall.
Not super
I'm
tall.
going to step into the room. Yeah, right here. I want to make sure we're on the same page here. Actually, yeah. I'll just do that. I'm gonna torch the two right in front. I just don't want to be standing in the doorway. Let other people get through.
Okay. All right. Which ones were you targeting? Sorry. The two in the middle.
Yep, breathing like
Okay.
up to them.
All right. Dex saves out of these guys.
It goes up now.
Plus 18, 3. So the one closest to you is going to fail. The one further away will succeed. He
And then
will
that
also
con
make
saves.
a con save. Yeah. So the guy in front of you just got completely boned by that fire breath. The other one was able to save on both. So he takes half damage. And this guy's going to take full damage. And he's blind. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, then I am going to give a point of inspiration to Stoneskull.
Alright. Yelling through the doorway that Stoneskull has some friends to play with. Maximilian sends out this radiant fire from his outstretched maw, able to hit this first cultist pretty hard as he's just too close to really dodge it. The other one's able to shield his face and his eyes, but still takes a little bit of damage. Both these guys still standing though. Rogar.
Right. Make my way in the room. See this guy affected by Max's fire breath. And stab with the gentleman.
Alright, you'll have advantage because he's blind. The gentleman with the 29 will hit. Jesus. Yeah.
Bill 1-2.
Damn, that's beefy. Alright. Yeah, he's dead.
42.
100%.
That's a lot of
Completely,
damage.
utterly dead. Alright, anything else?
42 is a lot of damage.
Yeah. Here to get out of the way so people can get in the room.
Alright, taking a step down. Rogar rushes into the balcony. As you move out, you're able to see outside now, you and Maximilian. Those of y'all kind of moving up, you see that it's just before dusk outside around you. Light is starting to dim a bit, but you're still able to clearly see the battleground around you. As Rogar steps forward, wielding the gentleman, brings this rapier up and just slides it right into this guy's throat, who's leaning over, holding
Yes,
both
it
his hands
is.
to his eyes, completely blinded by that spell, or by the breath of Maximilian, killing him instantly.
Yes.
He just drops like a sack of potatoes. Alright. This guy...
Oh, he doesn't want to do that. Whatever he's
Okay.
thinking, he better think twice about it.
This guy is going to step forward, and he's actually going to move. He's going to occupy this guy's space for a moment. As he raises his hands, a blast of cold air erupts from them, running straight into Maximilian and Rogar. I need both of y'all to give me Constitution saving throws, please.
Yikes.
Out of cold. Alright, so as this blast of cold air runs into you, Maximilian, still recovering from using his breath weapon, is slammed against the wall as he takes 45 cold damage from this attack. Rogar, you're able to shield yourself, kind of turning your shoulder into it, taking half damage. I don't think you get half damage on con saves?
No.
Yeah, I think it's just Dex, so you will still take 22 points of damage from that. Unless you have resistance to cold for some reason.
Don't.
Alright. So with that will be his turn. I think. Yeah, that's going to be his turn. Alright. Now the other three cultists, or the two cultists now, are going to move. He's also going to step back. There we go. What are they going to do? They're going to do something. Surely y'all are going to do something. Yeah, y'all are going to do a thing. Okay, so they are going to raise up their hands. As they do so, you see two small daggers appearing, and one... they're focusing the Dragonborn right now. One going for each of y'all as they cast Spiritual Weapon. 16 on Rogar and the other one for Maximilian. A 22 for Maximilian.
Warding maneuver. Oh, it's only a 21.
There's a wall in between. Maybe you can see them. It's tough.
I mean, if you don't want to call it, that's fine. Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
Like, they're kind of moved down to the south.
Oh, that's right.
Hard from your position.
Yeah, if they were like a square up, I could see it. But yeah, no, they're too far
they
down.
moved like 5 feet outside. The
Yeah,
door.
you gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. No, you're good.
All right, so 16 I think misses Rogar, but a 22 I think will hit Max. All right, so you will take 7 force damage as this dagger slashes across your scales. The daggers then begin to float there. Let me get that so I don't forget. I doubt they'll be alive next turn to use them, but just for the sake of things, we'll say
They never know.
they could be.
They might.
Things have happened.
Copy and paste. All right, so that's their daggers. Oh god, I just highlighted everything on roll 20. It's fine. This is fine. That was their bonus action. With their actions, this one next to Rogar is going to reach his hand forward. You feel a searing sensation going through your skin as he casts Inflict Wounds.
Ooh, I like that
and
spell.
Misses. You feel it. You're able to rip your arm away before it takes effect. The other one is going to... He is going to look towards Maximilian. Maximilian, go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw, please, as he commands you to kneel. Alright, you're able to fight off the magic's presence as he tries to command you, but it does not work. Alright, and now we're up to Ignalia.
Alright. I'm gonna step 5 feet out so I can see what I'm working with. This is the balcony?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have any idea how high up we are?
It seems pretty high.
Cool. Is this the dude who told me to command? Who tried to command me?
That would be this dude.
Oh, hello, friend.
Hello there. Kenobi.
General
Okay, so
Kenobi.
feeling real fun. I'm gonna quicken spell and I'm gonna immolate him.
Okay. Dex save at level 5. He's gonna 100% blow a counterspell on that.
I'll counterspell back.
Okay. Yeah, you still have a reaction. He has a reaction. Alright. He is gonna cast his at level 4 though. So go ahead and roll. We'll resolve yours first.
Okay. What do I add to this again?
Charisma.
It's 10 plus the spell's level, right?
That's a DC, yeah. So it'd be a
DC.
14.
No, poopy.
Oh, your counterspell fails. Let's see if his succeeds. What's his spell?
15. You'd have to roll a 15 to counterspell.
Plus 3. Nope. All right, both counterspells fail.
It's amateur hour up in here.
So he does not stop your spell, and you do not stop his spell. Your immolation does go through, so he now makes a dex save. Solid 13.
Nope, full damage.
So 8d6 fire damage. 19
Ugh,
fire damage.
God,
Okay.
no, fuck that. I'm empowering that just on principle.
Okay.
Okay, so the new total is 40. Wait, I think? Did I do that right? I subtracted 7, which was the 5 dice I re-rolled. So it's... yeah, it's 21 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3. No, that's...
21.
That's still 33.
Yeah.
I'll figure out how I did bad math later.
28 plus 5 is 33, yep.
Okay, so 33 fire damage for him.
Okay.
He is still on fire.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to move up one more, and since I quicken spelled that, I'm just going to attempt to kick him off the balcony.
Okay.
So just tell me whatever I do for that.
That seems like a general athletics check, I think.
A shove,
Sparta
right?
kicking him. Yeah, you're pretty much Sparta kicking him, so... 20. Okay. This is not a strong man.
I love those words.
Alright.
Does he try to quickly dodge out of the way?
Yeah, I
Try
mean,
to
I
think
imagine
of
it's
how
kind of like a grapple, right? Like he could
Yeah.
dodge. He doesn't have to just
Yeah, he's-
man it.
Yeah. I mean...
Not enough.
Okay, so he's gonna fall off the edge. Okay, alright.
Nice.
So... Alright, so you see this man on fire. As you immolate him spell, you see this war going on between this man and Ignalia. You see Ignalia casting the flame sputters a bit as the man rolls his hand up. Ignalia's other hand comes up, casting his counterspell away back and forth, and the fire finally takes hold, engulfing him. He screams in pain, and as he's flailing around, Ignalia steps up, saying something clever, I'd imagine, and then just kicks him in the chest. You see him falling backwards, his legs going up into the air, his robes kind of flying off to the side. You see him as he starts to tip over. He reaches up one hand, however, and you see his body dropping back, but his one hand grasps onto the edge of this balcony, is now hanging there.
And he's still on fire.
And he's still on fire.
And I'm just going to
way
turn
to
to Max
ruin
and say,
somebody's
these
day."
cheeky fuckers telling us to kneel. Us?
At the end of their turns. Alright, if they fail, they take 46. God, that's a good spell. Alright. Alright, so Ignalia Sparta kicks this guy off the edge, but he is still holding on by one hand.
And to make it worse on him, I'm going to move up like into his space, effectively where he should have been.
Okay.
I'm just going to, if he's still on, I'm just going to make him let go next round.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, we'll just half move him, I guess, so he's not really there. He's barely hanging on. Okay. Anything else, Ignalia?
No, I think I did a lot there.
Alright. So Stoneskull, you hear screaming and fires like bursting around the corner, and You're moving around the corner.
Going to start with a rage because, ow, don't hit me with anything.
Squeezing through this doorway.
Yeah, like, I almost like envision the doorway's just a little too small and he's kind of like forcing his way through. Pulls out Gleam Edge, and this poor helpless soul is about to get obliterated with reckless attacks.
22 will hit.
25 will also hit. So make sure I got everything checked. Yeah, okay. Okay. So that includes enlarged damage on the rage damage. Because it adds 1d4 for the enlarged. Yeah. It automatically puts all that together. So 20, 30, 40, 48.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Just slice through him.
Uh-huh.
This disappears.
And then Stoneskull is going to take one more step over here and look over at the one Ignalia has, and then look to the one at the south and like do almost like that slow motion turn, like, oh, you're here? Okay. And that's going to be my turn.
All right, so Stoneskull just cleaving a path, kind of moving around, and we see him kind of hunched over in this enlarged state, swinging Gleam Edge around, which looks a bit small in his hands now somehow, or maybe appropriate size for like a long sword, even though it is very much still a great sword, but Stoneskull is huge. All right,
Doesn't the sword increase in size too?
I think everything increases.
Does
Anything I'm carrying, yeah.
Okay.
Weapons included, yeah.
All right, so everything is terrifying now.
Everything's terrifying.
Somehow,
Yeah, I got a crazy visual of his giant ass, like just reaching for it, like driving Gleam Edge through, and then grabbing with his other hand and just pulling the sword out the other side. Like, yeah, there you go. How about that?
Okay, Tara.
Tara's gonna kind of walk up to the door. Is anybody even alive left in here? I can't see over Stoneskull's giant, so
Can't see anything.
To
no,
the
I mean
south.
seriously.
To the south.
Yeah, I see the
Yeah,
one
you
at the south.
feel-
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Alright, we're just going to fire a Earth Bolt at her for 29.
Yeah, natural 20 hits. Uh-huh.
Yikes.
You see this cult is standing there, looking towards Rogar. Doesn't notice the small Genasi woman moving into the area, firing off this bolt of earth that just pierces into his chest. You see him coughing up blood, looking down, and then it seems to impact him a second time, and he flies off, flinging, just tumbling end over end as he flies off the edge and disappears.
And then, yeah, Aegis for Stoneskull. And that will end my turn.
Or buffs. Okay. All right,
There's
so taking
nothing
him out with an
left.
Earth Bolt, it's back to Maximilian.
How long does that last?
Oh,
Okay. Hey, that feels like a waste of a spell slot.
wait, there's another dagger up still? Or it's not?
Yeah. Oh, no,
no,
that
it's
would have
gone.
went away with the
That's
last
gone.
guy that died, yeah.
His
I
death.
just haven't deleted
Yeah.
it yet. Yeah. It's deleted now.
It's gone.
I'm going to basically act like I'm out of combat. Just move the other side of Ignalia, and let's see what she's at. You know what? I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to unload my medic spell. That's what I was trying to. I always forget where the card for that is. Here we go.
Moving over calmly, this guy's screaming on fire. Ah! Ah!
Yeah.
Hanging onto the side, barely
Just walking
holding
over,
on.
like kind of just like I'm messing with the belt. Real calm.
All right, you're able to heal yourself up for 20 HP.
Yeah. No, my turn.
All right. Max doing some mending very quickly. Rogar, you hear screaming and what appears to be a bright light over the edge. You notice a man is hanging off the edge there. Everyone kind of standing there watching him. What do you want to do?
There's a gun on this side. I think Adelia's got it. Changing my ways enough as to kill steal.
Okay.
I mean, you could just assist him in falling.
That gonna be your turn, Rogar?
Yep.
All right. Rogar stands there watching the Human Torch as it's now his turn. He is going to... You see him struggling, still holding on, but he reaches up with another hand, starting to lift himself up, looks around, sees all of you there, still on fire, clenching his teeth. He then seems to turn his gaze towards the doorway, and then mist surrounds him as he vanishes.
Bloop. Bye-bye.
A cheeky fucker.
You hear a poof behind you, turn around, and you see that he is now standing behind you as he appears from another cloud of mist.
Good for him.
Rawr.
Proud of you, Boo.
He is going to turn around, holding up. You see him reaching down across his body, still burning, cringing at the pain. He grabs hold of his chest, and he seems to pull away a clump of fire in his hand, and then flings a bolt of it towards the middle of the group.
Can I, real quick, just so I understand mechanics, he's casting a spell, which means he's using an action to not put himself out?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Right.
Casting a spell. Need everybody to make dex saves.
I love it. Yeah, we don't do enough deck saves. I took a whole feat for deck saves, and I never get to use it.
Here you are. Okay. Yep, Stoneskull has advantage because you can see what's coming. That's everybody. So, Terra and Ignalia will fail, taking 27 fire damage as a fireball explodes, pushing you all outwards a bit from the concussive force of the blast. As this fireball explodes, the rest of you will take half damage, down to
13. 13.
yeah, so 13, and then reduced further if you have
Yeah.
this other stuff.
I am going to use my reaction to interpose my shield.
Okay, yeah, you'll essentially get the evasion. Or
Yeah.
dodge, whatever it is.
Take no
Alright,
damage.
taking no damage. Alright, so Maximilian able to pull his shield up, just blocking the brunt of this explosion. The rest of you being knocked around a bit, taking some damage from it as this guy seems to be on his last leg, his last bit of strength going towards the spell as he ends his turn. He's going
takes
to make
fire
another
damage.
dex save. Okay.
Oh, yep. That will fail.
Oh,
Yeah, solid 46 fire damage.
Did it not roll?
I guess not.
There
There
we
it
go.
is. 10.
A modest 10 fire damage.
hey, for real, I thought you said 46, like the number. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
that's
totally.
strong.
That is
Jeez.
a
Holy-
6th level spell.
You
Holy
really
shit.
should have put that out.
You made a mistake, man. Alright, so that'll be his turn. Just trying his best to take all of you out, seeing the fireball explode. You see him grinning through the burns and such, and all of you just standing there, not really that hurt from it. His face goes slack. Ignalia.
Alright, I will turn around and say, no you don't.
let
Move
him
back
live.
towards friend.
Let him live.
And I'll move to...
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't move
that's
there.
ours.
Don't.
Yeah, there's a big... I'm assuming this is like a big thing in the way that we can't easily move through.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. There's like a pedestal that it's sitting on top of.
Okay,
There's a
so
kind
I'm...
of next to it.
Okay, I'm putting... Oh, he can't escape anyway. There's bear friend sitting on the teleporter.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We brought our own
Okay.
security. And he comes in the room, throws a firebolt at us, like, run, and then turns around and see a bear in dragon armor. Like, oh,
Damn
yeah, that's
it.
good.
Fuck.
Looks to the right.
Yeah, we'll even
there's a
flavor like
stone
he
golem
still had
reading a book.
movement. Yeah,
Yeah.
he still had movement. You saw him turning around, moving back, clearly looking at the teleportation circle at the back of this room that you all entered through, and just sees a bear, it lowering its haunches, this dragon arm all across it, covering its head and most of its body, and just growls at him. He's like, "Oh God."
Alright, well, I will judge him then. And does a 15 hit?
15 will hit. Yep.
Oh, okay. He takes 26 total damage. And I'll throw a
Smite him,
level.
ye
I was gonna-
holy
I'll throw a level
smiter.
one smite on that just for
Yeah,
good.
for business. He told you to kneel, son.
For 12 more.
Alright. Yes, that's what Bear's friend's doing. So it's 26 plus 12. Alright, so is this guy still on fire, turning around? You see him just slowly turning around to look at all of you as you start to make your way forward. Agnalia moving forward, and as she slides past him, turns around and just shakes her head as she brings down her sword, bringing judgment down upon this man. And he is cut by divine light.
The mage tried to run,
Dead.
turned around and
Falls
looked,
around with
and
heavy
as he
blood.
looked, he saw Bear Friend setting on the teleporter and
I
was
wait
like,
like a solid
oh,
10 seconds
right.
before putting
Never
out the
mind.
fire.
Imagine just
Okay.
controlling the fire, just looking at it and just exhale, like, and blow it out.
Then, like, with sudden energy, go team!
Go team, yeah. Yeah, this corpse
Gonna-
now burning for a few seconds, but yeah, eventually goes out.
Take a few moments to exhale a little bit of fire down on myself and melt off all the, what I imagine like icicles still coating me. Like, that did not feel good.
Yes, well, this guy seems somewhat powerful.
Lay on hands into myself just to patch it up.
You heard it here, folks. Touched himself.
About you, I touch my...
A good
Listen,
touch,
I
too.
feel good, so...
Yeah.
See if there's anything on, anything still legible inside that flaming heat there.
Okay.
Yeah, just
So
want to kind of
searching,
pat it
I
down.
shouldn't have waited
Yeah,
that
see
10
if there's-
seconds, but...
searching all the bodies,
alright.
just the main dude, or...
Yeah, he seems like he's in charge. I mean, if anybody else was a pilfer
Yeah.
around through the
I'll search
the gangsters,
yeah, yeah.
Alright.
I got no problem with that.
Alright. So on the three regular cultists, not this wearer of purple, you find 17 gold pieces each. So 51 total from that. On the main dude that was reduced to fire, you see his robes are mostly burned away. You do see some now burnt gold and silver pieces. Jesus, alright. 20 gold pieces and 80 silver pieces on him. You also find where one small pouch was burning away. You start to move it around. You see an object inside the ashes, and you kind of push it out of the way, and you're able to see a now familiar object before you. What appears to be a small hourglass, still pouring sand
Ooh,
from one end to the other.
fancy.
For a second there, I thought you were gonna say a mask. I was shit a break.
Holy
You
crap.
figured it's not gonna be that easy.
Oh man!
GG, Tiamat, we win.
Going home.
They shouldn't have given him that one. Like this guy, you would have given him one of those way stronger dudes.
I nearly threw that fucker off a balcony.
Yeah. Whoops. Should have had that on his push. I'm gonna kind of hold it up and showcase, show it to everyone. Say, should we try the hourglass now?
Yeah, seems like it. This is the key, right? Probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of in a hurry, move up to the circle, and instead of, pressing it, I'm gonna, with my finger, I'm gonna kind of press it with the hourglass. When everyone's in the circle.
All right. Your potion of growth is lasting 3 hours, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Okay. Still enlarged. All right. So everybody.
I have a question. With Bear Friend following, can I give up a bonus action to command it to do something?
That's gonna give you so much action economy.
I mean, or I could
normally
give
you have to
up
take
one
a
of my
ranger roll
primary
for that.
actions, but if I give up a primary action, I would want it to be kind of like, Raise the Dead, where you give up an action and you say, attack this or defend yourself, and it just defends itself automatically.
Yeah, we'll treat it like a summon or something like that.
Yeah.
It'll roll its own initiative, and you can give it specific instructions with like your free talking action.
Okay,
Otherwise, Bear Friend's just gonna defend himself.
sounds good.
Yeah, so you won't have to give up any action economy.
Okay, cool. Because, it was basically going to be like, if something comes near it, attack, that kind of stuff.
He's not wise, but he's smart enough to realize
Right.
bad things and attack them.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So you have a small hourglass item in your possession now, as well as some gold. After slaying these cultists, what do y'all want to do? Everybody piling on the teleportation circle again?
Yup.
Yep.
Alright. And move y'all all there then.
So does anybody need a health potion before we go?
No, I think I'm all set.
I'm good.
I use my medic's belt and my lay on hands.
Alright, so what are you doing now that you're on the circle?
I'm going to press the hourglass symbol, but with the end of the hourglass that we've picked up, like a
Alright.
key.
Okay. So seeing that something was definitely off from trying to use the hourglass symbol on the other circles, you decide to go ahead and use this hourglass item that you got, this key that Iskander had talked about. Pressing it against the symbol, you see the symbol flaring with white light, and suddenly you hear the power winding up and not stopping this time, as the teleportation circle takes a few moments to activate, white light filling your eyes. Find yourself standing in a chamber. Give me 1 second. Here. Okay. As you look into this chamber, it's initially dark to your eyes. Looking around, you don't see anything. And then suddenly, light begins to illuminate. You don't see an apparent source, but it slowly grows just bright enough to where you can see comfortably around you. The scene that does reveal, though, is a bit off, as you see the bodies of 3 dead cultists lie on the floor. You see, leading off out of this chamber off to the northeast is another pathway, a hallway, leading off ahead of you. And you see what appears to be a trail of blood leading in that direction.
Looks like someone beat us to it.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was still muted. See it and say, perhaps I can't remember. It's what's the caster's name? Our contact here. Ialathor or something like that.
I have it written down somewhere. Hold on.
Iskander.
Iskander.
Iskander. I knew it started with an A. It said perhaps Iskander made it this far as well.
Iskander.
I had my reservations about him being an ally, but it seems as if he is, or is not here of his own free will.
I see something at the end of the hall, and it's kind of
These guys were obviously dead. Might take you a few moments of checking, if you want to give me a medicine check to see how they died, but obviously dead.
Is
Sure. You know what? I didn't realize that was possible. I will absolutely do that.
I'm gonna investigate
I have
around here.
advantage on these.
Nothing. I find nothing.
You see that these 3 obvious cult members seem to have died, not super recently, but definitely within the last hour or so. You see 2 of them seem to have been killed by some kind of magical force, as there are deep, impact marks across their chest, but no, like, broken bones and things like that. You see a burn mark on the other one. The third one, however, was definitely
very much
killed very easily with a dagger across the throat. You see that their blood seems to be fueling the pool across the room, as well as footsteps that went through the blood, leading off to the hallway to the east. Stoneskull, as you move forward, you see blood streaks through the floor here to this hallway, including the smeared trail leading back to this teleport chamber. And you see a trail of bloody boot prints heading up the corridor past the hallway to the north. Standing amid the gore, you see a somewhat humanoid figure. It seems to be a humanoid made entirely of flames, kind of standing stoically in the room beyond this hallway.
Guys. And he just points down the hallway.
I'm gonna, poke my head around. That's new.
Sweet Christmas. I can talk to that. Fair, I think you can too. You just got a bad accent.
If you're brave enough.
What is it?
Yeah, I don't think you can see it.
It's a fire elemental.
You never
You're right, I can't see it.
Anyone else feel like the oldest joke in the book is finally dying?
No.
You
Keep going.
What is dead will never die.
No.
Listen, necromancer. I'm just gonna kind of. I can see it, so right. What's it doing?
100%. You see it, just these flames kind of lapping up this humanoid form. It's just kind of standing there, not really looking at anything, just kind of hovering there, just slightly off the floor, flames licking out all around it, not really doing anything.
I'm gonna hiss over to it in Ignan and just say, "Hello. What are you doing?"
What did you say you talked to it in?
Ignan, which is primordial fire.
What was that you called me?
Yeah.
Listen, you
Just
Ignan.
this rasping tongue comes off Ignalia's lips that you've never heard her speak before. Kind of sounds like the dull roar of flame as it crosses her lips. As you speak, it kind of echoing down. You see the creature kind of glancing and can't tell. Seems like some cinders might be eyes up at the top of this figure. As it looks at you kind of down into the hallway, you just hear one word kind of echoing down. You hear like the rasp of flame and such everyone else does. Ignalia, you recognize this as the Ignan word for guarding.
Well, that was. I never thought that would come up in this campaign. I'm very
What's-
self-satisfied right now.
What's he guarding?
Well, it's primordial. You can understand it, right? Or do you need a specific dialect to talk to fire elemental?
It's you're able to kind of understand this, Terra. It just sounds really garbled a little bit.
He's speaking, like Castilian Spanish, and you learned Brazilian Portuguese.
He knows Latin.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's enough to get by.
All right, I'll move a little bit closer, like up to here, and just say, guarding what? Who told you to guard?
It kind of burns there for a moment, a few moments of silence, and then you hear it reply, Xonthal, guard chamber.
Apparently these guys work for Xonthal. Do I clue him in that, well, they don't have a master anymore?
Yes, and ask him if we can pass.
So I'll turn back to him. Xonthal is no longer alive, according to anyone's knowledge. Are you still bound by his word, or can we pass?
As you say that, it seems to think for a moment, and you get the feeling that it either can't or isn't understanding, as it replies once again, Xonthal, guard chamber.
I don't know, guys. I'll take like another. I want to get like right up to like the edge of the room, pretty much.
Okay.
I don't want to like. Oh, what the fuck? Tara,
As you step
Tara, come here.
forward, you see two more figures standing somewhat like what you recognize as a fire elemental. However, you see these two look like misshapen statues of clay and stone.
Oh no.
Once again, still standing there, kind of hunched over, not looking in any specific
I'm just getting
direction,
ready
not
because
really
I know it's
moving.
coming.
It's like high-pitched girl screaming, "Tara, get over here!"
Yeah, what is it? Why are there two more Mr. Pebbles in there?
Talk to your cousins.
Excuse me, guys?
The party watches us have the weirdest conversation on the planet. I sound like a campfire, and Tara sounds like ground rocks.
Let's take a gravel rock. So yeah, as you move up to the edge of this or this hallway, at the edge of this chamber, Tara, you're able to feel, kind of blocked off a bit, as these aren't creations of yours, but definitely feeling, the elements of earth in this room as well, more clearly. As you begin to speak out, you hear a reply in this very grating rock upon, stone upon stone sound. As Tara, you somewhat understand this dialect of primordial called Terran is replied to you. As they reply, "We guard."
What exactly is it that you're guarding? I can't really see.
As you say that, in unison, all three of these elementals, the earth elementals as well as the fire elemental, reply in unison, "Guard chamber."
Just a chamber, huh?
No response.
Can I feel any other passageway except for that one?
As you're looking off, it's hard to feel anything. You're still feeling this presence of magic suffusing everything, knocking off your senses. You can feel that there definitely seems to be a chamber leading off that way, and maybe something else moving off in the same direction. But any further than that is just beyond your senses.
Ignalia? How tall are these guys?
These guys are, what, on the border of like 10 feet tall or something?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, if they're just guarding the chamber, we could just make the chamber smaller and go around them.
Make the chamber smaller?
Yeah, we'll just put up a wall.
Oh. Well, that'd be great.
Tara, make an insight check. Okay.
Nope, that's a totally feasible plan.
Oh, okay.
Do
This is
you have
totally
any objections, Ignalia?
I mean, if you can, I'm just a little bit surprised, honestly.
That I can put up walls? You've seen me do it.
No, I thought they were like, had to be in a cave, or maybe someone had to like be dying inside of it. It's been a coincidence, okay?
I mean, that's usually when we use them. I understand your confusion. Stoneskull, should we put up a wall?
Are we not fighting them?
Perfect Stoneskull answer.
These little guys? I wouldn't worry about those little guys.
Oh.
This disappointment radiating from his voice.
If you want to, we can, but we could just go around them, I think.
Okay, whatever you think.
I mean, at the very worst, if they're just guarding the room and like where we are isn't pissing them off, maybe being like over there won't piss them off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I could get over there
they're
without.
not that bright. Well, I mean,
But
that
I'm worried
one
about
is,
the
but the other two
Stoneskull
aren't.
and the bear. I can't take them with me.
Yeah. Stoneskull's gonna reach for Gleam Edge. Like, not pull it out, but like rests his hand on the hilt and is just watching very closely. Like, he's ready to go.
They're not going to do anything, Stoneskull. You can relax, I think. You just don't walk in there yet.
I'm gonna move up behind Stoneskull and mention to myself, Steve, and Ignalia, and then point at the fire elemental and say meat. And then point at the rest of the group and point at the other two and say potatoes. Yeah?
Yes.
Take them down.
I'm gonna face palm as a bonus action.
Let's.
Okay, but can you at least
Yes.
let me... Can you at least let me go first this time?
By all means. We'll wait on you.
What are we doing? Sprinting?
No. It's hard to sprint and fight at the same time, I think.
Oh, I'm saying let's just bypass it. I don't think we have to
Yeah.
fight.
No, we don't have to. But I can come up with a whole bunch of reasons why we should.
Yeah? Let me hear them.
We don't have to worry about them on the way back out. We're surmising a whole bunch that they're not going to be an issue later on. And if they're here with enough magical power to be bound here for hundreds, if not thousands of years, you can cleanse this entire tower.
Wait,
They're not
wait,
a threat
wait.
to future people.
Before we go anywhere, these guys are protecting this room, right?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Why don't we rest for an hour and then continue on? And then we can get rid of them. I don't really care either way, but they're gonna protect us anyway.
It's really not a bad idea.
Yeah, we can rest.
I was about to say, Stoneskull roll an insight check, but I already see it in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what y'all want to do.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
I wonder if they'd let Mr. Pebbles in.
Probably not. He doesn't look like one of their cousins. I don't think they've met. Be rude to assume.
So yeah, I guess the idea is to back off, let them continue to protect the room, and then take a 1 hour short rest.
Alright. So everybody backing away from this room and resting in the room with the corpses?
Yeah, I want to grab one of the corpses and just throw it like 10 feet into the room and just see how they react to
No,
dead body.
no, please. No, don't do that.
I do that.
Okay.
No, you son of a bitch.
No, please don't do that. I do
As
that.
the body is thrown in, you see the elementals all converge on top of it. The earth elementals raising up and slamming the stone fist down into it. The flame elemental burning it to pieces. Only a few
Takes a
moments
step back.
transpire, and you see them begin to move away from what is now just crushed bone and ash, where there was a cultist body sitting there.
I think I'm right, guys.
I think we should make sure it stays clear.
Alright, but I'm gonna rest here in the hallway and not next to the dead bodies.
Yeah, I'm totally in the hallway.
Pummeled him into the ground.
It's just an ash mark now.
Okay. So yeah, 1 hour rest. If we can.
Well, since you've picked one of the safest places to be, seeing that you have the only key into the dungeon level that you are now inside of, and the
You're
other
right,
end is
that's
protected
true.
by elementals, you are safe for the hour that you decide to rest. Everyone will get the benefit of long rest, so if you need to roll hit die, go for it. If you get anything back on a short rest, by all means, go for it. Stoneskull, you will lose an hour on
Yep.
your
That's perfectly okay.
enlarged potion, so you'd have 2 hours or so.
Okay.
Yeah, and as you're concluding this rest, starting to rest up and such, we're gonna go ahead and take our 5-minute break, and then see how
Okay.
you'll approach this the second time.
Xonthal's tower? I think you mean Justice HQ.
Alright.
Terra's Tower of Horrors. Oh boy.
Oh God.
Oh boy, I didn't even think about that.
I sit on top, just making a Sauron eye at all hours of the day.
Your name is exactly
So-
like, as soon as Stoneskull said that, I'm like, you have to roll insight, because that is an excellent idea. And I saw the 21. I'm like, nope, can't say anything. Like, it's a great idea. That is a perfect idea for this place.
Uh-huh.
Alright, I'm gonna be right back.
All right. All right. So, gonna take a 5-minute break. When we get back, we'll probably be fighting these guys. So you get to enjoy that. That'll be fun. So don't go anywhere. 5-minute break, and we'll continue.
20 foot is just
All
4
right.
squares, right?
Are you ready?
Yes. Alright. So as your short rest concludes, taking about an hour, in this hallway as well as the chamber with the dead cultists, you feel a bit rested going forward. You still seem to be on a bit of an uncharted level of this place. You don't feel like you're inside the tower proper any longer, namely because you don't see circular chambers around you. And this seems to be much more heavily guarded than it was before, as there are now 3 elementals in between you and progressing forward. So, what do y'all want to do?
Oh, not that.
You know, kind of just discussing it again. Let's make quick work of these guys. Attack quickly. Ignalia, myself, and Steve at least, with the resistance to fire, should take on the fire elemental. Stoneskull, Terra, Mr. Pebbles.
I really don't feel like it's necessary, and just kind of a waste of time.
To fight them, they literally just decimated the
A
body
body.
in seconds.
Let's just get it over with. It'll be
The
at our
body
advantage.
sitting in the ground that we lobbed in there. We can literally just walk in, like, to that hallway, maybe. And if they follow, then we fight.
I don't want to be
All right.
surprised.
Well, here, you walk through it. We'll all be behind you, and if it turns sideways, then you just turn and fight.
Sounds good, buddy. I cast Phoenix Dive Havoc over to this hallway.
That doesn't help the rest of us. What the hell?
What, you wanted to prove the point?
No, that's not proving a point. That's spell casting and going around when the rest of us have to still enter the room. But all right.
Well, let's see what they do.
Alright, so where are you landing?
Just over here, and then just move up a couple
Okay.
of steps.
As Ignalia vanishes from sight in a puff of smoke, you see flames rising from the air or from the ground as she lands and materializes up to the north side of this hallway. You see all 3 elementals turn and start moving towards her, but as the fire elemental kind of gets right here, you see a shimmering light, what appear to be arcane glyphs stretched on the floor in front of it. As it stops there, turns, moves back to where it was standing before. And all 3 elementals go back to standing there, not really moving.
Great, we can range them to death. Any complaints? Don't think so.
No. Let's go. One at a time.
Yep. Also, I call out that there's like another little room thing over here that I found.
This is a terrible
The stairwell
idea.
leading down to your north.
This is a terrible idea. Havoc, does Stoneskull fit on the bear?
I feel like to have a mount, it needs to be a size larger than you, so no.
Okay.
I'll take care of. I'll make sure Bearfriend gets across.
Well, Havoc, you tell us. If we just sat here and just firebolt / earth bolted these guys into infinity, is anything going to happen?
I don't know. You can try.
Well, Tara, what do you want to do?
I'll throw stone bolts and stuff. I don't mind.
Okay.
I mean, I was planning on going in there full swing, but if we wanted to sit here and try and pelt them to death, we can see.
Okay, yeah, I'll firebolt this one.
Okay.
I'll throw an earth bolt right after.
All right. Anybody else do anything?
I'm just gonna watch. I don't really have anything to.
Yeah, observe me.
Alrighty. Alright, so Firebolt at this one will hit for 10 fire damage. The Earth Bolt will hit for 20. As both of these attacks are thrown out, Terra and Ignalia kind of signaling to one another, firing off these bolts of energy, running into the elementals. You see them slowly turning, looking towards their respective attackers. And then you see the arcane glyphs appearing once again on the floor, and then they vanish, and the elementals begin to move forward with intent. Need everybody to roll for initiative.
Uh-huh.
Now we get our fight.
Let's give it to him. Give him the business. Ooh, good music.
Thank you, Tara.
So did it work?
You can feel the room a lot easier now, Tara. It seems that something was blocking your view of the room. Now you can feel it a lot better. And also feel a couple of earth elementals sliding towards you.
Oh, okay. Can I feel whatever
Jesus.
this is?
The breaking of the earth where the earth elementals bleed that body up.
No.
And the fire elementals scored.
They deleted that thing.
Yeah, he's deleted. God, it's on initiative, man. That sucks. Alright, let me unhide those real quick. And never whisper rules. Alright, so getting the fight you all wanted but didn't want to admit to wanting. Mr. Pebbles is here instead of Tara, but that's fine. Either way. Alright, Tara, somehow you're ready first.
I told y'all I was going first this time.
Ready to go. This is your kind of fight, huh?
Tara is going to cast Erupting Earth right here
Okay.
at level 5.
Alright, 20-foot cube.
Oh, why didn't that do my damage? I need to go fix that one.
Where are you centering it?
Right here. Kind of in between them.
In between them? Okay, so it'll hit both of those guys. Alright, they gotta make dex saves. Yeah, fucking stone just grating. It looks like one might have succeeded. What's yours, DC?
17.
Alright, one succeeded. And that hadn't take damage, was a little more spry. Alright, failed safe after. Additionally, the ground area becomes difficult terrain. Alright, so the left one will take the full 39 points of damage. The other one will take 19? Yeah, 19. Okay.
Tara's just going to step back behind Max, and she's going to look at the turn order and give Steve an Aegis.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Doesn't usually happen. Very different. Alright. Rogar having a very odd sensation as the rocks around him begin to swirl around. He kind of freaks out for a second, then recognizes the stone aegis that's usually on Stoneskull is now surrounding him. Oddly. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Big ol' area of 5, 10, 15, 20. like that. Difficult terrain. All right, Maximilian.
All right. I am going to reach out with my hands and touch Stoneskull.
Okay. Moving back a few feet, touching Stoneskull and Ninja.
And I'm going to slap him in the ass. Send him in there. Yep. Could you imagine seeing someone the size of Stoneskull just vanish?
Just all right. Anything else?
No. I'll let my turn. Yeah.
All right. You all see Maximilian moving back, and as he places a hand kind of on Stoneskull's stomach, you see Stoneskull just vanishing from sight. Visibility is cast on him. Max resumes his position towards the mouth of the hallway. Rogar.
Alright.
That's kind of terrifying.
Towards this one.
Okay.
Been a while. I need a deception check to see if he's still alive.
Okay.
Alive? Looks alive.
10. So yeah, you'll have insightful fighting on him. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Invid.
Right. 28 will hit. For 34 points of damage. Okay.
Alright. That's it.
Alrighty. So as you stab him with the gentleman, reaching into this somewhat incorporeal creature, you're able to stab in, seeming to cause damage. The flames kind of burst outwards from your attack, and you feel resistance. But the flames also lash out and burn your hand as you take 5 fire damage. Right. Which I think you have resistance to, so I'll take it down to 2. Alright, so you see Steve running in, stabbing, getting kind of burned a little bit, but Stoneskull, you can't see yourself.
Who has the ice orbs?
That's me.
Not me. Would it be difficult terrain for me to stand here?
Nah, it's fine.
Nah. Okay. Cool.
Aren't you immune to difficult terrain?
No.
Oh, is it a Stoneskull or a Goliath thing?
No, I don't think so.
Ranger thing.
That's a ranger thing.
No, I don't know a ton about 5e. You know what I mean? I just
I have powerful build, which is basically I count as a creature one size larger, so for her carry weight and stuff like that. I'm going to pull out the invisible gleam edge, seeing the giant bastard to the south, and going to swipe at him at advantage because he can't see me. Twice. 15 hit?
First one will hit, second one will not.
Okay. So 20 damage.
Okay.
And yeah, why not? I'll action surge and do it again. Jeez, that's such a low roll. That's a 2.
So yeah, you're not actually getting advantage on these, unfortunately.
Why?
As your swing, because it has tremor sense. It doesn't need to see you. So as you swing, 15, 13, 14, yeah. None of those extra attacks will hit.
I see. Okay. That's my turn
So
then.
does it. All right, you see Stoneskull. Well, no, none of you see Stoneskull. You see this Earth Elemental
apparently
bouncing
it does.
backwards from one attack. Some of the stone
That's
from
unfortunate.
an obvious slash room across its chest, flying away. But then you see it kind of moving up, and you see it getting hit several more times, but no large damage really being done to its stony hide. Ignalia.
That's unfortunate, because that means I'm going to get my
You can no longer
butt
see
kicked now.
Stoneskull.
Kind of
Do what?
assume he's probably near that thing, though.
Yeah, but exact measurements kind of difficult.
That's unfortunate.
Alright, I'll put down a wall of fire.
All right.
Yeah, let me get the polygon line. So I'll have it be... How long is it? 60 feet long? So I'm basically gonna go ahead and just like bisect the room so that it is on top of those two guys, but not close enough I think it would get him.
Okay. You assume that he's not on top of them, so you could put it somewhere where they would.
I mean, I imagine I see this one doing something, and I know he came out of the room, so he's probably in this big area.
Yeah, I'd imagine if nothing else, you're hearing the heavy footsteps of Stoneskull. Invisible does not mean silent, so. All right.
Yeah.
Do
Drop that.
Dex saves are real good at those. Hey. Wounded one will somehow succeed. Other one
Yeah,
will
right.
not, though. Okay, so 5d8.
There, 21.
Okay.
And,
Anything else?
No. I'll move up a little bit to the side of Steve, so in case if he needs to leave, I'm kind of like a barrier.
All right.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. You all see this wall of fire erupting out of the floor as it streams upwards, hitting both of these earth elementals, with the burning side being towards the southern end of the room. They kind of rebut from the attack, but they're still very much standing. Starting to look a little beat up, at least the one on the left is, after taking a few hits. It's the fire elemental's turn. Alright, it is going to move forward on top of Rogar and stop moving.
Is he trying to smother him with his butt cheeks?
Pretty much.
Smother.
You
Alright. So Rogar, this thing engulfs you. You take another 5 points of fire damage that you're resistant to. And you see your scales growing hot, your clothes and such begin to catch fire. You are now on fire. And it is going to make 2 attacks at you, Rogar. 21 and 11. I believe the 21 will
Does
hit.
that count as a melee attack?
Yeah, it is melee.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know this probably won't be super effective, but
Yeah, 24 will hit. Alright, so Rogar, you were
for
going to take
11 bludgeoning and 9 force.
16 fire damage, reduced down to 8 from the touch attack. You are on fire, so if you don't put it out, you will take more fire damage at the end of each of your turns. Tara is going to blip out of existence, swinging her maul through the air and hitting this for 11 plus 9 for 20. And the fire laps out at her as well, and you take 6 points of fire damage, Tara.
Ignalia's is hot. Her, not a big deal.
Alrighty, that is the fire elemental's turn. 2 earth elementals. Part of their turn. Ball for the first time on a turn. So both these earth elementals just gonna follow the directive, moving forward. Difficult terrain. Alright, so 5, 10, 15, 20. Moving through. He will take the damage. Go ahead and roll that Ignalia. This one pretty much entered into it, so it's gonna keep on fighting from where it is. It can see stones, or well, can't see. Wait, no, it can't. Yeah. It knows Stoneskull's there, so it is going to swing at him. All right, and this other one is going to swing at Terra. As it takes 23, and the other one takes 23. All right. Okay, and 2 slam attacks at Stoneskull. A 16 and a natural 1.
Both miss, yeah.
Both miss. All right, Terra. 24
Really?
and 23.
Going to
the other direction.
warding maneuver. Doesn't matter. Hold on. On the first one.
Okay.
So. Oh, son of a bitch. A 2. Okay. It's not going to be enough.
Yep, unfortunately, neither one will be blocked. Terra, you will take 31 points of bludgeoning damage.
It still hits, so you'll have resistance against the attack's damage. So, bludgeoning damage, you'll reduce the damage from it in half.
Okay, so 7 on the first one instead of 14.
Yep.
Plus
And
4.
8 on the second. 7 and 8.
So total of 16, 15.
15. Yep. Because it's
Thank you.
yeah.
I'm not as bad about getting.
And
the
It only
moment that they
affects-
miss,
would it only
It
affect that first attack?
Yeah, it's only one
Okay.
attack.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't do both.
Okay, yeah. Then you'll take an additional 9 points of damage too.
Yeah, 24 total.
Yep.
That's what you're taking. All right,
Okay.
so getting the brunt of one of the attacks off at least from this Earth Elemental. You're able to block that for the most part, but the second attack, as it slams against Terra's body, still does pretty decent amount of damage. All the Elementals are starting to look a little beat up, but they hit real hard. Terra.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a swing at this one with my maul.
Okay.
Yeah.
23 hit,
23 will hit. Mhm.
11 bludgeoning,
Yeah.
and then I don't think Mr. Pebbles can fit up in there, but I'm gonna go ahead and have him move forward.
Okay. For the sake of it, he can kind of occupy partial spaces and stuff if need be.
Yeah, I mean, can he occupy that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, then he is going to take his swings at the fire elemental.
Okay.
14.
Come on, Mr.
Come on,
Pebbles.
Mr. Pebbles.
Both hit.
Oh, okay.
Way to go, Mr. Pebbles.
For 25. Okay.
And that will end my turn.
Mr. Pebbles is so confused.
Mr. Pebbles will take 18 fire damage.
Yeesh.
Yikes.
I thought that might happen. That's why he's punching him and not me.
Fire elementals are scary, y'all. Alright, anything else there?
But no, that's going to end my turn.
Alright, you see a good swath of earth is carved out of this earth elemental from the maul that Terra's holding. Then she commands Mr. Pebbles to move forward, stomping past Maximilian as he runs forward, bringing both his fists down right next to Rogar, not hitting him thankfully, but tearing a huge chunk of this fire away from this fire elemental as it seems to be badly wounded. Its form barely holding itself together, but the flames do attack Mr. Pebbles as well. You see his stony exterior ashed over and cracking, but still standing. Maximilian.
Ashed over.
Time to revitalize everybody in there.
Ooh. Fancy.
Yeah.
Alright, that's up to like 6 creatures or something?
I'm not sure. Let's see. Choose up to 6 creatures.
Yeah.
30-foot radius. So,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yep, everybody gets healed.
Oh. Does that include Mr. Pebbles?
Sure, why
Mr.
not?
Pebbles. Oh, that was supposed to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's,
pretty much
it's
you can
6
heal.
creatures you
We-
choose. Yeah.
We never really determined
Oh, that's true.
if he could be healed.
I would say like healing magic will, but like healing potions won't.
Okay.
Can't give Mr. Pebbles a healing potion. But
I mean, you
healing
could.
magic will just stitch him back together.
Hey, Havoc. Did this guy take damage from staying in the fire?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Why will you not adjust? Like, I can adjust his health down by just typing it over the bar, but I have to go into the sheet to go up.
That's odd.
Huh.
Shouldn't do that. He's got an NPC sheet, so I don't know. Just roll 20 things. Anything else, Max?
Yeah, actually,
Mm-hmm.
use my bonus action, I'm going to cast Sanctuary on Terra. On Terra.
The is it
That's
concentration?
2 spells in a round?
No, it's not. Sanctuary is not concentration.
That's 2 spells in a round, though.
Yeah, but you can't hire. You can only cast a cantrip and a first level or higher spell.
Oh,
per turn.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, can't
Ew.
cast more than one first level per turn. First level or
Gross.
higher. Yeah, that's balance.
It's ugh.
Otherwise, Ignali would always be just throwing around spells.
I would be terrifying.
I mean, it's max 2 spells are out, right? Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah, but at the same time, 2 fireballs in one round is decimating.
yeah, okay. Well, I will. No, that was my turn actually.
Okay. All right, so casting out your hands, chanting as you do so, you're able to heal up the wounds of your allies. All of them getting a decent chunk of health back from that. And then you stand by as the battle continues. Rogar, you're on fire.
He's moving over there.
He's talking, I can't hear him.
Sorry. Before I put myself out, I'm gonna move over here
Okay.
and attempt to put myself out.
All right. Yeah, you can just take an action and douse the fire across your body.
Put myself out.
All right. Stepping away from this elemental that looks very damaged, but you deciding that's further fire bad. You douse the flames across yourself. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, you see Rogar quickly putting himself out, his clothes and armor looking a bit singed, but otherwise no worse for wear. Stoneskull's somewhere here. You hear him grunting and moving around.
Yeah. I'm going to reckless attack the guy at the south.
Okay. That'll hit. Also hit.
That feeling when a 29 isn't a crit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty good damage.
Yeah, that's good damage, yeah. He did.
Yeah. That's 41 damage.
It would have taken 2 attacks, but he did.
Yeah. And I don't know what else to do now. I'm gonna whistle for Bearfriend to come join us.
Okay.
so he'll come up here. He's not going to get all the way in there, but he's going to get closer.
All right.
And that'll be my turn.
All right. You see the fire being cut through, and that this earth elemental is trying to push itself through, taking a lot of damage from doing so. But then you see a huge gash going across its chest. You see it kind of going almost fluid as this happens. It pulls itself back together, but just in time for another slash to go through like an X across its chest. And the second one just takes it down, as you assume Stoneskull with clean edge just cuts this thing down. It falls to the ground and just, soot-covered rocks onto the ground. Yeah.
I don't think any of us would be able to attack anything up that high. They see big chunks on the top, like, that's big Stoneskull smacking people around. Gotta be.
Me?
Yes.
Is this guy still in the wall of fire?
Nah, he's out of it. I just can't really move his token. So.
Okay, well then I'm dropping it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll judge the flame elemental.
That makes it so much easier.
Does a 15 hit?
15 does hit.
Okay, he takes 19 total. I'll quicken spell and just try to.
Flames wisp out as you hit your attack. You take 4 fire damage, but this fire elemental was too weak to take the judgment attack, and it is dead.
Oh, well, then I guess I don't waste.
You were found measured. Oh, you were measured and found wanting.
Alright, yeah, fine. I'll move up to here and try to do the same on him then. I'll quicken spell.
Okay.
I'm assuming a 19 hits.
Yep.
Okay. It's 26. I'll smite.
Okay.
Ugh.
Oh.
Poopiest smite.
Solid 3 damage. Alright.
Smite-ish.
Alright.
Kinda smite.
29 total.
Alright, so swinging...
Babies.
Excuse me, your
Baby's
blade
first
through the air. Even though the flames lap against your body, doing a little bit of damage to you, you're able to take out this fire elemental. Moving through as the flames part in front of you, you step forward, swinging once again at this earth elemental. It also looking very beat up now after your attack and a small burst of radiant energy. Not very large, but enough to... It definitely looks hurt. But it's his turn.
Wouldn't say insignificant, but it's, close.
Yeah. It's going to swing at Ignalia twice.
Huzzah.
22 and a 16.
Yeah, I can take that.
I'm going to use my reaction and warning maneuver the first attack.
First one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Take it down. It'll miss. Alright, so first one coming down towards you, Ignalia. You start to raise your blade up, but then you see the fist just stops in the air. You're not entirely sure what's holding it back, but you see it reaching back and swinging at you again. You quickly gather yourself, moving aside as it hits the ground around you, not hitting you. Tara.
We all know why. I reach up and I slap his bicep.
Mr. Pebbles is going to come up and make his swings first.
Second one hits.
For 16.
Okay. It's very hurt. Still standing though.
17 hit.
Hit.
For 13.
Alright, go ahead and describe how your maul just is barely able to hit it, but enough damage is behind the blow to finish it off.
I imagine that Tara just cocks it back and swings as hard as she can at its legs, because that's the only thing really that she can hit. And she just kneecaps him.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so you're able to take out this earth elemental. It falls to pieces to the ground, much like the other one did. Your fight seems to end around you. You start taking a bit more of a survey of this chamber that you didn't really have time to do so before. To one corner of this room up to the northeast, you see a large round table with 4 chairs sitting up there, with some shelves and workbenches arranged along the walls. You see, even with the elementals in here, books and papers are still scattered on the table, along with what appears to be a locked wooden chest about the size of a shoebox. Yeah, that's it.
Somebody check the shoebox. Who's digging in? Nah, I mean, I'll do it. Don't everybody jump at it at once.
You're dropping the rough terrain, right?
And the invisibility, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Oh, I can clear the rough terrain for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll clear all the rough terrain for them. It'll take me a little bit.
Gonna wander around and start looking at things.
The chest open.
I'm even going to come over here and clear this little section that they made.
There we go. Okay. Alrighty. So... Stoneskull, as you're moving around, looking at things, you see a few pieces of paper and such, and some books that are open. As you're looking down, you see that the writing on these books is just completely illegible, or you just can't read it. It's hard to tell.
I'm gonna go with Stoneskull can't read, so it's fine.
I don't read good.
Don't read good.
Hoping for some pictures.
Tara really wants a piece of this rock elemental, so she's just going to break off one of these big spikes on its back.
Okay.
I am gonna just... Nope, I am not. Never mind.
You see Stoneskull reaching down to pick up one of the papers to look at it closer, and as he does so, you see that the paper almost holds its form as you pick it up instead of flailing over it. It's just extremely brittle, and it just crumbles into dust as you pick it up.
Oh.
Surprised it didn't go up with the flames, really.
Also, it means no one's been here in a long time.
Stoneskull kind of looks around like, did anybody see that?
Yeah,
There
so
it is.
Stoneskull, watch, keep. Oh, yeah! Well done. Yeah, so be careful touching anything. You're not exactly clumsy on your best day, and now it seems that prop has just gotten bigger.
Havoc, I'm going to pull out my Wand of Secrets and just give it a wave to be sure.
Okay.
I don't know why, but this section looks funny to me and it makes me want to.
Secret doors or trap is when 30 feet of you, the wand pulses and points at the one nearest you.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, let me stand in the center of the room when I do that. There we go.
Okay.
Wait, did you say it points? Just to want to be clear.
You see Tara holding out, and she kind of waves this wand through the air. As she does so, the wand kind of pulls her hand over, and the wand seems to be kind of pointed, fixated right towards the table and the small shoebox.
Well, I don't know what it's... Tara's just going to let the wand pull her over to it, because she doesn't see what it's pointing at.
Yeah, it just turns around and points you. It doesn't really pull you in any direction, it just points. Magic deactivates.
There's something going on over here, y'all.
Detects traps and secret doors.
One is up here.
Yeah, it's
In there, so it's like up there that way.
it's secret doors or traps within 30 feet of you.
Maybe there's a trap here. Or traps here. Steve, can you check it out?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you checking?
See if looks like there's any traps.
Where, like anywhere, or somewhere specific?
Where they were pointing. I was
Check the tables, pull the tables away, the wall behind the tables, trying to figure out if we know they're here now. So now it's just process of elimination of finding out where they are.
Did y'all see what it was pointing at? I didn't see myself.
It looks like there was a table and even maybe this kind of give it a kick. Little chest here.
Okay, yeah, give me general investigation checks, Rogar. As you're looking across, you see once again this large table. You see some books and papers are scattered across it, along with this wooden chest that's once again about the size of a shoebox. You look across it. It's a locked chest. You don't see any traps that are noticeable on the chest itself. You glance around the table itself, seeing these books. Once again, you can't really read the writing on it. It seems everything's kind of smeared, and even looking at the paper as you move around it, you see the paper appears to be very brittle. Checking the walls, don't see anything or feel anything odd. Yeah.
Alright, well, I mean, if you don't see anything, I'll trust there's nothing here. And crack this chest open with my feet.
Okay. You try to do so, and the lock is stopping you.
Just gonna take the pommel of my sword and just knock it off.
Okay, making an attack roll.
Tara's gonna start backing away from whatever he's doing.
Okay. You're able to hit it, and as you do so, you feel the crack of metal on metal, and you see that the lock is completely unharmed.
Steve, would you mind?
Yeah. Doing well.
I don't have the tools for this.
Alright, gonna try to unlock it with Thieves' Tools?
Yes.
There's
Alright,
no
go ahead
way
and roll.
this goes bad. None.
Eh?
Hey!
You see Rogar moving up, pulls out this little kind of opening bag that's rolled up, and as you do so, you see all these implements unfurling themselves. He definitely reaches in, grabs two elongated picks, begins moving through the lock, able to find the keyhole, starts going through, and after about 3 seconds, you hear a click. And you see what appears to be an arcane sigil appears on the top of the box, and then kind of rewinds and disappears. And nothing happens.
Wait, what rewinds and disappears?
You saw an arcane glyph appear on top of the box. That seemed like it was activating, and then it seemed to just back itself up, rewinding the glyph as it kind of appeared in a clockwise pattern, and then disappears in a counterclockwise one and vanishes.
Got it. Good. Nice work, Steve. I like clutch my chest like, oh, that was almost terrible. Well, let's do the honor, sir.
Open the chest and see what's inside.
Okay. As you open this chest, you see 3 scrolls inside of it.
Ooh. Scrolls are nice.
I think this is either better for you or maybe Nelia. I have the slightest clue what these are.
I imagine you just passing them up to me over your shoulder.
Like, I don't know, useless.
How do scrolls work? Do we know what they are? They're not like
You can,
instruction manuals.
yeah, I mean, you can do an identify spell if you want to figure out exactly what it is, or you can give me an Arcana check, see if you can piece it together.
I'm not particularly good at those. What else we got in there?
That's it. 3 scrolls.
Oh, 3 scrolls. Well. Well, I mean, somebody took care to hide them here. You said Arcana. Let's see.
Oops. Can definitely tell that there's some arcane runes. Definitely seems to be a magical scroll, but you can't discern exactly what it does.
I'll pass into Ignalia as well and say, I'm not exactly sure what these do, but they're infused with magic of some kind.
Okay.
Best to keep them with us, right?
I do have a lot of scrolls in my bag.
Well, make sure to mark these unknown in your memory.
Yeah, I'll do so.
Okay. Alright, 3 unknown scrolls are now in your inventory. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna wait a second. I'm gonna use detect magic as a ritual.
Wait
See
a
if there's anything
second.
anything else in here. And while I'm
Okay.
setting it up, say, I seem to remember something about fire elementals having the heart of a diamond. See if that's true.
Wouldn't it be a ruby?
I thought they were diamonds. I don't know. I don't remember. I remember something about gemstones and elementals, fire elementals specifically.
I don't know. I mean, this guy seemed to love gems, so.
I will say,
Mhm.
as you're all looking around and start mentioning that, without needing to go through detect magic, you're able to go to where the corpses of these creatures are, and you find 3 cracked gems. You see, one where the fire elemental was what appears to be a red corundum that is cracked and doesn't have much color to it, and where both of the earth elementals were, you find what appear to be this yellowish kind of diamond-looking gems, once again cracked and kind of faded color to them.
They make for good mementos, if nothing else. I'll pocket them, and then I guess we need to figure out which way we're going next. Sure.
Well, there's a door here to the left, or something crazy up ahead.
I do like crazy.
You see a smaller path kind of heading off to the northwest here, leading up to a doorway. As you're looking down these stairs, it seems to descend into darkness, but every once in a while you see a twinkling at the bottom of the stairs of what looks like stars? The closest thing it reminds you of.
I'm gonna pull a drift globe out, and gotta make sure if everyone's ready. I think we should proceed.
Yeah, do we want to go straight then?
I think so.
Alright, so as everybody starts making their way down these stairs, steps descend to a walkway that appears to stretch across infinite space. Thousands of stars twinkle in unfamiliar constellations, and meteors streak through the vastness above and below the path. Just past the base of the stairs, a door framed by nothingness rises from the path. 50 feet beyond that, the path meets an intersection with another door straight ahead.
With my wings kind of aloft to catch me should I fall, I'm going to reach a foot out and see what's this purchase there.
Okay. As you take step...
Go
ahead.
I was gonna say, anyone have ball bearings?
Indiana Jones the shit.
Just
Nice.
dump
I
them
didn't
down
think
the
about that.
stairs
Good.
and let them roll and see what happens. If they fall off into nothingness, then we know right off the bat.
Okay. I'm glad I got these built-in wings here.
Tara, without saying anything, just hurls the spike from the stone golem out there.
Alright, so as Maximilian's beginning to step out, almost at the same time you see this stone spike flying across the ground, or through the air rather. At almost the same time you see Max's foot resting on something solid, and the stone elemental spike clatters on the ground, and then you see it moving off, and then it kind of juts, it landing oddly and juts off to the left. Max, you find solid purchase, even though as you're looking down, you just see infinite space and starlight down below you. You even see, as you're looking closer, what appears to be streams of meteors streaking across the night sky below you. However, as you all catch a sight of this stone piece appearing to fall off the path as it goes just outside of the width of this hallway, you see it starts falling and disappearing as it just seems to fall into infinite space.
Step where I step. I'm gonna start moving out across the Nothingness.
Nervous laughter.
Yeah.
All right. As you step out, 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, you see this door just kind of hanging in nothingness off to your right. You feel solid purchase beneath your feet. There's definitely seems to be a path here, even though you can't really see it.
If anybody doesn't have any objections, I think I want to move past this to solid ground on the other side. Or what looks to be solid ground on the other side.
Go
We can
for
check
it.
this out maybe in a little bit.
Okay, so you're all gonna start moving across.
We're watching.
I'm waiting for him
Max.
to get to the other side. Yeah.
Okay. You see Maximilian go ahead and freeze there before anything else. Walking across seems to have solid. He's taking very light steps, and his wings are constantly out to catch him, but seems like he's able to move across.
Did he make it to the other side?
Yep.
It appears so. And I kind of just like look around, still not really volunteering to go forward.
Stoneskull, because he's not really sure how this is going to work. Kind of walking over, like, basically, like, his legs and his butt is up against the wall, basically. And he's, like, sidestepping across it and, like, putting his hand against the far wall to, like, brace himself so he doesn't fall forward.
The wall vanishes after you get where all that blackness starts. All around
Oh,
you
all
is
around
just
you is
black.
nothing?
Yeah, just this void of infinite space.
But do I feel anything beside me?
Nope.
Oh,
You feel
okay.
wall where there's wall there, but as you move forward where the blackness starts, you reach your hand out and you just feel empty space.
Okay, well then I'm going to be straddling that pathway then. Yep.
Okay, just walking. I can imagine Stoneskull like dainty walking, trying to stay in the 5 feet that Max
Yeah,
was on.
like literally following right in the exact path that Max went.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, I won't give you a check for walking. You can start moving across. Okay, you can move to the middle, it's fine. I know what you're trying to do. As you get halfway across, you see something bright as you're kind of moving around, watching your footing and such, and you see kind of down below you, there's this little pinpricks of light. And you look a little bit closer, kind of stopping for a moment, and then they grow brighter and larger. And you see what appears to be a swarm of tiny meteors fly straight towards you. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
You're able, as you see these tiny meteors flying straight towards you, you kind of rotating your shoulders and leaning backwards, you see him matrix dodging essentially these meteors that fly right past where his head was, dodging them and not getting knocked off this path by the tiny meteors.
Fuckers. He like after that he's like, no, fuck this, I'm running.
Just starts jogging, going.
Tara's gonna attempt to send Mr. Pebbles across.
Oh no, this is gonna
Okay.
Poor bear friend.
Mr. Pebbles, they said you have to stay to the right. So just be careful.
Okay.
He's just walking the path that he knows.
I forgot about bear friend. He's gonna have so much trouble walking across this.
You see Mr. Pebbles make his way all the way across.
Okay.
So we're like, no, shit.
Yeah, and then, I'm not playing that game. It is exactly 60 feet.
Okay. I love this hallway so much. Alright. Terra materializes at the end of the pathway, kind of stumbling forward, and able to step on, feeling solid ground beneath her feet.
I'm gonna call ahead to the other side and just tell them to make way.
Y'all?
Gonna keep going one by one? Or are you gonna just move over together? What are you gonna do?
I'm calling the other side and telling them to make way. Give me like 5 feet of clearance.
Everybody's like, oh, fuck that, and they move.
Okay, and I Phoenix missile my way and explode into the ground on the other side.
Listen to it go.
This is amazing.
The sad part is there's probably nothing here. It's just like an illusion to
I can
keep
throw
us.
dragons at y'all, I can throw all these other terrifying beasts, but a fucking hallway, man.
Oh,
Oh.
Space steps are not cool.
It's burning spell slots to get across the hallway, I love it. Alright, yeah, you're able to make it across, just vanishing and then appearing in a burst of flame on the other side.
Well, all Terra had to hear was some meteors hit Stoneskull, and she was done.
Oh, I saw, Mirne. I saw. Alright, Rogar and Bearfriend are still over there.
Rogar.
So I'm gonna follow Max's path on the side.
Alright. As you get about halfway across, you see glimmers of lights moving towards you. Give me a dex saving throw, please. Okay. Man, you are lucky that landed on one of y'all that was really good at that. Alright, so yeah, the meteors head straight towards Rogar. Rogar, seeing them, had seen what had happened to Stoneskull and was ready for it. Seeing them coming, ducks his head down, easily dodging. He dodges a couple more times as a couple more meteors fly through the air, seeming to just pass through whatever you're standing on, but not impacting anything. And you see them streaming through the air and heading off into the distance, into this infinite space above you.
Okay. Not staying on Nothingness Bridge.
Yeah, Rogar is able to hastily start light stepping across, keeping solid purchase beneath his feet, and finds at the other end.
Bear friend.
Big room for Bear Friend.
Come on, bear friend.
See him just cautiously staring at nothingness in front of him.
He did
But
watch a couple people walk across it.
He reaches out with one large paw and kind of taps, finds solid purchase. You see him testing it with his paw, stomps on it a few times, doing that kind of lumbering up and down. Steps out another paw, has both his front paws, and then begins to start walking out. Starts making his way across.
Okay.
And you see Bearfriend making it all the way across as he kind of gallops over the last few feet, getting across there. As you move into this area past the cosmic hallway.
Oh no, there's... Oh no.
Let's see.
Oh no, there's something over there.
You see a doorway beyond this hallway here at the end of it. As you look to your west, you see another doorway. And as you look to your east, you see light is shining out of that corridor. And as you kind of glance around to it, you see that the corridor opens into a room set with comfortable-looking, oversized furnishings. And as you glance a little bit further, a couple of y'all can kind of see into that room. In the center of the room, a red-skinned creature wearing armor of flame, bronze, and volcanic stone sits cross-legged on the floor, studying what appears to be a chessboard.
Not another chessboard.
Give me the description one more time.
Yeah, so as you're looking down, you see light shines out ahead as this corridor opens into a room set with comfortable-looking oversized furnishings. In the center of the room, a red-skinned creature wearing armor of flame, bronze, and volcanic stone sits cross-legged on the floor, studying a chessboard.
That is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I can't help it. I'm just walking right into the room.
Okay. Maximilian, as you're stepping into this room, you see this creature sitting there before you. As you make your way across, you see that this room looks off for some reason. As you're looking at it, you can't really place it as you're glancing around. This creature raising its head up and looking up to study you. As you glance a little bit closer, you notice that there's this crystalline substance lining the walls. It's just a fine kind of line across all the walls upon the floor. And as you step into it, you see below your feet, set into the cracks of the stones, is more of this crystalline kind of white substance. As you step into the chamber, the creature looks up at you. You see that it has several horns across its head. It looks up at you with a calm look across its face, neither smiling or frowning towards you. Make a history, arcana, religion. Just make one of those 3 checks. Recognize what this is. You recognize this creature as an Afridi.
Mm-hmm.
As you're looking at this Afridi who looks up to study you, you see him as he studies you calmly. You see his face alight a bit with this fiery smile. And as he looks at you, he says, "Well, I thought I would get more visitors after recent events, but so many. I didn't expect so many of you. Why have you come to my humble prison cell?"
We come seeking the cultists that inhabit this place.
That he tilts his head, that same smile on his face. He says, "Cultists. Haven't really seen many of them. I've heard their screams, I imagine, from down to the south, echoing through the hallways. I did see one recently. Interesting fellow. Looked badly injured."
An older gentleman?
With that, he thinks for a moment.
Or mortals?
Maybe. I'm not too sure. I've spent so long here in captivity, thanks to that cursed Xonthal. It's hard for me to remember details.
You've been
We inside
captured
check
this
that?
whole time? For what purpose?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
As you ask that, he looks up and says, "Well, for what purpose? That I'm not too sure. Oh, where are my manners? You see, I've been here for so long, I don't get many visitors, as I said before. My name is Tyranny the Fair. My captor, the Xonthal, well, he trapped me here in one of his summoning rituals and prevented me from escaping, and you see him kind of motioning with his clawed fingertips around the room with this magic here, this barrier. He said I could leave if I beat him at chess, and you see him kind of motioning to the chessboard in front of him. In all the years that he visited this chamber, I was never able to win. Ignalia, he's definitely lying about not knowing details.
Alright. I'll use message to tell Max that. Just say he's full of shit.
Say, we made it through the maze. And here. Surely, something with this place, as I imagine you weren't summoned here to not use your magical granting abilities.
With that, you see him kind of sitting back right and kind of shrugs his shoulders. As I had most of my powers, well, all of the ones worth speaking of, sealed away in this room. I cannot do anything here, can't grant any wishes, as you may have heard, while I'm trapped here, unfortunately.
Do you wish to be free?
That he raises a bushy eyebrow, and you see that fiery smile widen. Of course.
I imagine just picking up what I'm imagining is salt.
Yeah, as you look down in the cracks of the entrance into this area, as well as along the walls, you see salt is lining this entire chamber.
You've been trapped here this whole time by salt. Just kind of look back to the group, What say you? Do we free him?
He might be a lying sack of shit that wants to stab us.
Once we open this cage, should we choose to open it, Master Jin, you would then be free to do what you wish.
With that, he nods his head, still that smile on his face, says, I would be, yes. Havoc, see? We talked about this too. You and wishes.
Well, so he said that he can't grant wishes, right?
He said he can't while he's trapped, implying that should we let him free, we...
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, because Stoneskull was just like, something wishes, yes, let's release him. Because insight of 9.
You have to figure out a conclusion.
Do we each get a wish, or?
I bet he doesn't give wishes. He just wants out of the fucking room.
Do you know anything about those guys?
I know that he's lying.
Genies generally don't always tell the truth, even a wish. You need to make sure you word it carefully.
I'm assuming this is all out of character, so I'll just let me know when you're back in character.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of... What do you think? You guys want to ask him, say, hey, make a deal, we'll let you go. Grant us some wishes, what will we wish for?
2 Mr. Pebbles.
2 non-enemy Mr. Pebbles, please.
I think if we ask for something, it's got to be super specific.
It was specific. I want to be able to make another Mr. Pebbles.
But
he gets lonely.
But they could turn evil and attack you. That's what I'm saying.
And so we're
Because
basically
Or
just
you could take
specific
Mr.
enough.
Pebbles and cut him in half.
Yeah.
And now you have 2 Mr. Pebbles. You know what I mean? Like, careful what you wish for kind of thing. Yeah, it needs to be real specific. Definitely something practical. Like, something like arrows of dragon slaying. Like 1,000 of them, or however many we could carry. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't we just ask for, like, a quiver of infinite arrows of dragon slaying?
Or can we ask him for the mask? Does he have the ability to pull that off?
We don't even know if he has the ability to do anything.
Nope. We know nothing. But he said he would, so. And I trust
No,
him.
he hasn't said he would. We haven't asked him.
Yo, that's true. He hasn't said he would. Are you going to give us wishes?
That he looks back at Stoneskull and says, if my power is restored with the barrier being broken, I would bestow powerful magic upon my saviors, yes?
It doesn't mean anything to me. It's fine.
I'm not one to stand for slavery either. And I said, I trust you won't harm us.
Or trick us.
Harm us, at least.
I'm his size. I can take him.
He looks over all of you. I have no intention of harming my saviors, if that is what you turn out to be.
With that, I will.
Huh?
Me and Rogar over here rolling insight.
You... You see a sly grin crossing his smile. Not getting the full sound of truth from his voice.
I'll voice that again. Guys, he's using deliberate wording. He's not promising us wishes. He's using vague bullshit. He just wants out of the room.
Yeah, he said he
Well, obviously he wants
we
out of the
become
room.
his saviors. Like, there's something
No, no.
more to this room that he's letting
not-
anyone believe.
I mean, either there's more to the room, maybe, or no, he doesn't have fucking wishes, and we should stop thinking he's gonna grant us wishes.
Can we see the barrier? Is it directly around him?
It's a line of salt.
Yeah, I saw it around there.
Max kind of points it out. You can. It's hard to picture out in the entirety of the room, but you can at least see the granules of it, kind of between the racks of the cracks rather of these stone squares.
Okay. I'll follow
That
you,
he-
Max.
He kind of sees Max moving out, and he looks across all of you. He says, "I did see a man you may be seeking. I could trade information for my freedom, perhaps."
I can't. He's been here a long ass time, and he doesn't belong here.
This sounds like a good deal. It's fine.
I'm going to take my foot and slide across the line of salt and break the barrier.
All right. As you do so, a gust of air seems to hit all of you in the face from the magic being released from this chamber. With that, you see Taraz the Fair standing up and looking down at the chessboard, and as he looks back up towards you all, you see him kicking the chessboard across the room. It clatters off the wall, landing back down. You see this Afridi kind of stretching his back, cracking his shoulders and such. With that, he lowers his gaze. "I did promise not to harm you, but my magic doing so wasn't part of the agreement, I suppose." And with a wicked grin, he raises a fireball in his hand. And that is where we're going to end the session for the evening.
This
That reminds you, you're all dumbasses.
For the first time ever, I agree with it now.
Oh, I think we all knew this was a terrible idea.
Oh yeah, I just wasn't
Half of us
getting the
wanted-
rolls I
we were
needed.
just going along with it to, fight it because we were curious.
Yep, I
give a
did.
shit.
I wasn't
Where you
getting the
guys at?
rolls that I needed to convince myself that he was misleading us. So. Oh, well.
All Max really wanted those wishes, y'all.
All right.
My brain was spinning. I was like, look, I can't do this. And then legit in my head, I was like, he's been enslaved here. It's an intelligent creature. Yeah.
All right, gonna end stream. Be right back.
Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Bye-bye.